Hello everyone, this is EC the Gamer, and today I'm going to do something, a bit different than the things that I tend to do, like Let's Plays and everything. And I'm going to talk about the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, Series S at the same time. There's two of them, but I'm not going to be talking about specs or anything. I just wanted to ask a question to the audience, to you, everyone that's watching the video and everything, because I wanted to know the opinion that you have of which one of the two consoles are you going to buy. Whether it's day one, I would like you to put on the comment below which one of the consoles are you going to buy, either if it's the PS5, which version, and the Xbox, which version also, and whether you're going to buy it day one or not. And please, if you can, tell me your reasons. I wanted to do this video because I want to know what other people think, not just what I'm reading on the articles and everything, but the actual reasons from people, everyone that have been watching the different events that the Xbox and the PS5, the Sony and Microsoft have been putting on YouTube pretty much, and other sites, like the recent release day event and price event of the PS5. So yeah, that's pretty much what I want. But I'm going to also tell you what are my plans and some of my reasons as to which one of the console I'm leaning towards to. So in my case, so let's start with this. In my case, I am leaning toward the PS5, the Digital Edition. First out, let me look here first. I'm actually in the computer to see this. In terms of the two consoles, the PS5, from what I understand here, is coming in November 12th, 2020, while I think it's in November 19th for globally, and in November 10th is when comes the Xbox. I think both versions, the X and the S. So the Xbox is coming first, but just 2 days there. So it's not much of a real difference. That shouldn't affect in anything. But the price are the things that are very interesting. Now, the Xbox was the first one who who actually presented their prices, and I believe is what it says here is $499 for the Series X, which is pretty much the standard edition used. That's another way to say it. And $299 for the Digital Edition, that is pretty much the Series S. PlayStation size, the standard edition is going to cost $499 and $399 the Digital Edition. So when you look at it, it's really not I think PlayStation, did the right thing. They pretty much put the price essentially the same. For example, the base edition for each side is at the $500. So what is the difference there? Of course, the performance, the power, which one is more powerful console, but in terms of the price, they're the same. In the Digital Edition of both consoles, that's where the difference is. But at the same time, I don't know, you cannot compare it either, because the only thing that the PS5 is doing is they're taking the disk drive, I believe, so that they supposedly, some people say that the disk drive itself costs like $100, but some people say that that's not true. Those disk drive, because they are 4K, they cost more. I believe that point. But either way, you know, the reduction, it's not the matter here. The thing is that the Series S is not actually stronger. It's not a much powerful version than the PS5 per se. Remember the Series S. The reason why I think it costs so low is simply because they actually make a cheaper version of the console, so of the standard one. But either way, I think these are really cool prices and really good prices. Some of the prices that were coming were like 600. Like, whoa, that's really steep. I think these are good prices, and $399, is a price from the PS5 perspective. It's a price that pretty much everyone has already bought a PlayStation at that price. So when it came, the PS4. But here's the thing. This could actually be the first time that the first time that I may actually think of buying both consoles. The $399 from the PS5 and the $299 from the Xbox, the Series S. I mean, by the way, I tend to lean toward the PlayStation console, but not because I wouldn't be willing to buy the other consoles. It's just my childhood memories have been mostly from. I mean, when I started gaming was pretty much with Nintendo, with the Nintendo 64 and the Game Boy Color, those type of consoles and portables. But when the PS2 came, I actually skipped a console though. The PS1, I never bought a PS1. I never played one. But the PS2 was my starting point in gaming, and from that point I actually just continued playing PlayStation. I remember, I think it was like 9 years I had the PS2. Then the Xbox came, but I wasn't able to buy it. Then came the Xbox 360 PS3, and I actually bought the Xbox 360 first. At that time I think it had more games, and I think it was a better choice than the PS3. But I don't know if a lot of people of you remember that those consoles, especially the Xbox, had a big problem that I think it was called the red ring of death, where this red ring appeared on the console. It pretty much meant that it would die, and unfortunately yeah, I was not able to rather than buy another console or repair it, I just decided to buy a PS3, and after that I just stuck with the PS3 and PS4 and so forth. So it's not because the Xbox is bad or anything, it's simply that it has been very difficult for me to have multiple consoles, not only for the price, but sometimes I think it's difficult for me especially. But now with things that we're seeing, it is possible. I feel interesting, especially with the, let me see, what is the name of it? Sorry guys, I'm looking for this name. They gave it a name. It was the Game Pass, I believe. Yeah, I think it's the Game Pass. I don't see it here. I think it's like a Game Pass. It seems like it's like a version of the PlayStation Now, and so that's very interesting. I don't have a PC. I really will never have one, especially for gaming. I like my gaming to be on consoles, but I can understand why people love playing on the PC. But either way, this is definitely going to be a very interesting generation. Now, one thing that I want to say, I don't want to forget about this. I said that I was thinking of buying the $399 version of the PS5 and the Xbox Series S when the time comes, when I have the money or whatever. It could be 2 or 3 years later, I don't know. The reason why I'm going digital this this generation is because I mean the PS4 I have been pretty much digital all of my time. You know, I mean it have been what 6 or 7 years with the PS4, and most of my games are digital. Now a lot of people are going to say, yeah, but you know, there's a lot of how do you call it? With a disc you can trade it in, you know, sell it. You have more freedom because it is yours. You can sell it off and whatever. My problem with that is that where I live in Puerto Rico, the GameStop, which was pretty much where I think everyone in this where I live in this island is pretty much bought their games mostly there. If not on Walmart, those type of store, which there are not like a lot of them. But and the other place would be Amazon. You know, for you looking for them online. But other than that, once where I live, the GameStop actually closed, so we don't have any. We don't actually have a store that is a dedicated store for gaming or for games and everything. So since that I have started, you know, I have been for a long time playing digital game, you know, buying them digitally, and quite frankly, even now I have a better internet, but so it's much better now, much easier for me to download, you know, I haven't even bought expandable storage or anything. I have been pretty much downloading them. Once I finish them, I just delete them and re-download them again whenever I want to. Even before, when I have less internet, I was doing that. I didn't care. So that thing that a lot of people says with, you know, digital is physical is much better. That argument is becoming less and less each year, each generation. It's the unfortunate thing, you know, it's how technology is going. The same with streaming and everything. So pretty much, this time I'm going digital. I don't see why. Again, the PS4 I like 5 physical discs. That's it. And I think even one of them I got from the Plus, a digital edition. So what's the point, you know, having a physical, you know, a disc drive if I'm not going to use it? Neither for movies. I don't buy movies anymore, especially not in the physical aspect. So it doesn't work for me. But one thing that I think seals the deal for me is the games, and that's why I think this generation is, I don't think there's going to be like a clear winner like the previous one. I don't think the PlayStation is going to be the big winner this time, but I think there are going to be still an advantage because of their exclusive. You know, whether you like them or not, you cannot deny. I mean, come on guys, how do you think Nintendo themselves has been surviving? Not surviving, they have been doing really well, but how do you think they have been continuing on? You know, they stick with their exclusive, and they actually bring new games, you know. So like for example, Nintendo, they have there's 2 games that actually have made me want to buy a Nintendo Switch, and they are Astral Chain and the other is Fire Emblem. I think that's the name of the game. And again, when I look at the Xbox, it's the same games. It has been for a long time, you know. Halo, which is I haven't played it, but I know it's a really good game, you know. Halo, Gears of War, which I know is another great game. Forza, I'm not a racing fan, but they are really gorgeous. The games are really gorgeous, so you know, that's one of their big ones. But at least those are the ones that come to my mind immediately. Other than that, the other games have been like yeah, maybe they're coming, they're not. Uh, quite frankly, I'm telling you, I think PlayStation still have the lead because of their exclusive, especially with the Final Fantasy 16 supposedly being console exclusive, not full exclusive, console specifically. Uh, to the PS5, they have the Spider-Man game, the Miles Morales, so that's another big one. Demon Souls, I don't play those games, but I know it's a really good one. On the Xbox side, I don't know what they have. I know that Halo they delayed the game, so the big game, they don't have it. But at the same time, Microsoft is not leaning toward their exclusives, so I think this generation is going to be a stalemate with pretty much the three consoles because they're going three different directions, which actually is a good thing. I think it had to change this thing about this competition. Well, the console wars a really cool concept, but they need to change way because especially the Xbox has to change because it was horrible for them. And my thing is, it was really terrible for them in the previous with the Xbox One. Really, it was at the same level or even worse. I don't know which one's worse, the Wii U or the Xbox One, but now at least they're Xbox looking the Game Pass, trying to diversify, going to more not only just console but the PC, the Androids, the tablets. Like they're trying to space to other markets. While PlayStation truly wants to stay to what they believe is the most important thing, games. I still haven't been sold to. Quite frankly, I don't think they have real exclusives. The Xbox, the PlayStation 5 does, and they actually have Horizon and God of War that they are coming to the same year, which it's possible that they get delayed. But either way, even if they get delayed, they will come eventually. Either in the first or in the second year of the console. So I'm leaning toward the PS5 in my opinion, but I definitely want to hear the opinion of you, because both sides, I think they have their advantages, disadvantages, their good points and bad points, but I don't see a clear winner this time. I do know that the games are going to cost more. I think they're going to be like $70 now, which is understandable. It's the unfortunate thing, if you want more, better graphic, better everything, they have to jack up their prices a bit more. And with the current pandemic, it's definitely doing things are becoming more problematic, more difficult. So, sorry. But yeah. I think it's a really good thing for both consoles to have at least stuck with the price point from 300 to 500. And now pretty much the three consoles are at the same price when you see it. Nintendo Switch, I think it is at 300 also. Xbox Series S 300. The Digital Edition of the PS5 is 400. Other two, the standard edition of both of those consoles, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, will be 500. I think that Nintendo Switch is thinking about making another console, a much more powerful console. A Switch, but like a Switch Pro to say a name. I assume based on their price point, it's going to be like a 400. So. Again, there's pretty good prices, considering the technology and everything. In terms of, if I were to say designs, I lean to the PS5. I like their designs. I don't know why they never, at least these two generations specifically, they never has tried to stick to something normal. They try to do very innovative in their aesthetics and everything. So I definitely lean toward the PS5. I remember reading an article that when they compared it, they were like, you know, they compared with the Star Trek, and for example, is the PS5 you can compare with the Enterprise, while the Xbox Series X would be like the Bohr Cube. So it's actually true, you know, it based on the colors and the design, they do make sense to make that comparison. But yeah, if I'm being honest, people, if it's all going to depend on, you know, based on the console that you decide to buy, is going to depend on your way of playing games, how you feel about the future, like how have you been playing games recently, you know. In my case, because I have been playing in digital, I don't see myself buying this game anymore. I haven't in the past 6 or 7 years. Let's take the first year off, because let's say the past 5-6 years I haven't been buying games. So what's the point? Yeah, people might say, well, but you don't know the future. Well, the future doesn't look like we are going to get more. Like, the future is not. It's not showing us that physical media is going to become king again. It's actually showing us that it's going down each time more and more. And then one thing that a lot of people say, like, oh, but the how do you call it, the game deals, you know, some the specials that sometimes stores do, like, oh, like 50% off or whatever, they're much more faster and better on the physical media. But I say, yeah, I don't know. I think that digital, like PlayStation itself, they're constantly putting new, they're constantly putting new, how do you call it, new deals, pretty much. Sometimes maybe 1 or 2 weeks or monthly, they're putting a new game deal, so new deals and everything. So that argument is getting, again, that's my point. The arguments of physical media is becoming less and less. It's become more difficult to defend the physical media, but I understand. I do believe physical media is much better, but again, myself, the stores that I used and that pretty much everyone used to buy games have disappeared in where I live, specifically in Puerto Rico. So what's the point? I mean, it's like you took the places where I bought the games, so now I have to buy them online, and that takes time for the games to come. And when it comes to games, I don't like to wait for them. So yeah, I mean, it's looking green for the physical media and everything. The physical disc is definitely going down, slowly but surely. I think the thing that will definitely kill off the physical media would be that, I don't know, either PlayStation or Microsoft decide to do like this digital media trade-off. Like, the games that you already own digitally, you can actually like sell it, you know, trade it in for other games in the digital store. And with that, the thing that some people say, like, well, you can trade physical games, that may actually go away also. So again, I don't know, just in my opinion. But anyway, yes. What more is there to say? I don't want to do this long, because it's already long enough. But yeah, the PlayStation has some really good exclusive, and not only exclusive. You know, we already know that there's some really good games that they're coming from third-party games. I think that Cyberpunk is coming to the PS5 eventually. I don't know I don't think it's day one, but it will come eventually, you know. Uh, yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops, Demon's Souls. This is on the case of the Harry Potter game. So yeah, this on the the game that they were announced on the PS5 event, the Final Fantasy 16, which is actually very interesting, you know. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't see anything else important on this. Again, the Xbox is very difficult to look for things of games because they are not focusing on exclusives. It's not like they don't have it. They have the studios, but it does take time to make games. So it's not like you buy a studio and hey, yeah, they have already a game. They only were able to do that, I think, with the ones the Ninja Theory, I believe it's called, the ones that are making the Hellblade Senua sequel. I think they already have that game in the making, so they don't have problem there. But yes, I just hope that Microsoft just decide to make more games. For me, that's the most important part, the games, and they do not have them currently. And it's been their problem, you know. They have always been focusing on Halo, Gears of War, which understandably they are the big games, the game that sell console for them, but they need to do some new games, you know. For example, in the PS5, there's a lot of JRPG, you know, Japanese games that are really cool and really good, and they don't have that. Like Persona 5, I don't think that game is on the Xbox. I don't think so. So yeah, that's really everything that I want to say. I don't want to. That's what I'm going to do. What I'm thinking. By the way, in my case, it's no day one. I'm not going to buy neither of this console day one because I did that with the PS4, and the PS4 got some defects. So I had to eventually buy another one. So I'm going to wait. I don't know if it's going to be like a year, but 1 year, a year and a half, until I see what happens with each console, not in terms of sales, but rather in terms of their performance, if there's any problem with them. So to be more educated about it. You know, everything looks good on paper, but when it is put on the people's hands, that's where you see which console is better or not. And also what the developers are each developers, first party developers or third party developers are going to do with the console specifically. So yeah, that's pretty much it what I wanted to say. Now what I want everyone, you know, is, apart from not forgetting to subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video and hitting that like button if you also, you know, found this interesting, this video. I will also, in this part, for this video is important, I would like people to comment, please, to comment on this video. Tell me which console are you going to buy, the PS5 or the Xbox, or maybe Nintendo. I don't know, maybe you decide to buy a Nintendo, but because it's this PS5 and the Xbox Series X, I want to stay with these two consoles, and which version of them you are going to buy, which one, and the reasons. Why do you want to buy that specific reason? If it's the digital version of the PS5, why, or if it's the physical, you know, the standard edition, why? Also with the Xbox Series X, which one are you going to buy, either the X or the S, and why? Why is the reason? And also, please tell me if you're going to buy it on day one or not. Of course, if there is let's say like this, if you had the opportunity to buy it day one, are you going to do it? Because hey, a lot of people, I think the PS5 pre-order was a chaos, because people just, you know, people desperately looking for the console to pre-order it. So if you had the opportunity, would you buy it day one or not? So yeah, that's all for now. I hope you really like this conversation. This is EC the Gamer. I will sign off for now, and I will see you on my next video. So until next time.